Hi, welcome back to RPTV Weekly News. My name is Jabin and my co-hosts are Kedar, and today we welcome Thundercloud. We present news that impacts on Regent Park and the surrounding areas.
In this episode, we present the following news for the week of November the 21st to November the 28th. Report of the Regent Park Social Development Plan Stakeholders Table meeting on November the 27th. TCHC, Toronto Community Housing, provides update on Regent Park demolition notice for phases 4 and 5. 21st Annual Regent Park Film Festival returns with 4 days of free movie screenings. Toronto Police report significant increase in hate crimes since Israel-Gaza war. One person remains at a homeless encampment outside Toronto Church after city began to clear the site. City of Toronto releases new strategy focused on mental health and substance use. Ontario and Toronto reach a historic $1.2 billion funding deal. Events in Regent Park community.
Report of the Regent Park Social Development Plan Stakeholders Table meeting on November 27th.
Social cohesion and inclusion.
The SDP Stakeholders Table is the main decision-making body responsible for the implementations of Regent Park Social Development Plan. The Stakeholders Committee meets 4 times yearly. The working committees of the Regent Park Social Development Plans are communications, community building, safety, employment and economic development, and evaluation and benchmarks. The November 27, 2023 hybrid meeting took place at the community living room located on the first floor of Daniel Spectrum. The meeting was chaired by Regent Park resident Walid Kogali, Marlene DeGenova, the market resident co-chair, and 2 new co-chairs, TCHC resident Ines Garcia and Leah Caterberg, Vice President of Programs and Partnerships at the Yonge Street Mission, representing the Executive Directors Network. The 2-hour meeting had a packed agenda beginning with land acknowledgement led by Ines Garcia, followed by Leah Caterberg, who reminded the purpose of the Regent Park Social Development Plan Stakeholders Table.
Some of you were around way back in 2007 when this all started. The SDP, the Social Development Plan, was started to go alongside the physical redevelopment that was taking place here in Regent Park. And the goal was that the revitalization could take place in a way that builds the community in a socially cohesive way. And so out of that, 75 recommendations came, which led to a 2019 refresh. So while those recommendations were being followed, it was recognized that a bit of a restructure of the SDP would be helpful, and so that happened in 2019. And the refresh consists of 4 priority areas. We're going to hear from all of them tonight. They are safety, employment and economic development, community building, and communication. And part of the refresh was a structure that includes all of us, the stakeholders table, and we meet quarterly. And we hear updates from all of these 4 areas, as well as some of the committees. There's working groups for these 4 areas, and people are more than welcome to join any of those working groups, so let us know if you're interested.
The first item of the agenda was a presentation by Walid Kogali explaining the voting process with an introduction into the decision-making process.
What we do is we try to make decisions based on consensus. What we do is we put forward proposals. If everyone likes it, that's great. We've made a decision based on consensus.
The second agenda item was the approval of a proposal presented by Joel Klassen related to the Shaping Culture Guidelines and its application trial period of 3 to 4 months that will support the Social Development Plan to improve its meeting and conflict resolution practices.
3 documents make up this guidelines: the meeting guidelines, the conflict resolution process, and mutual accountability.
We want to propose that we use them for the next 3 or 4 months, and that as we use them, we're going to have mechanisms for getting your responses, your feedback about, this works, this doesn't work. And so what we're hoping is that people will be willing to try that out for the next 3 or 4 months.
The Shaping Culture Guidelines proposal was approved by consensus. The next agenda item was a presentation shared by Isha Kidway and Teresa Tudorova on the Community Benefits Oversight Working Group CBOWG and the Regent Park Community Benefits Agreement Update Report from May to November 2023, followed by Q&A.
The CBOG was formed last year, and their main objective was to co-design an engagement process to find out from the community how the $26.8 million from Tridel should be invested in the community. And when we came in May, we had just launched the engagement process to answer that big question, how should the funds be allocated? We identified employment, training, youth programs, scholarships and bursaries, and community space were the top priorities that were identified through the community survey. Also feedback and various conversations that we had throughout that first engagement phase.
I do want to say that $26.8 million is a lot of money, okay? I hear what you're saying about what the overall need within the community is, but this is the largest community benefits investment that we've had in North America. So I just, like Vancouver at the moment is also doing quite a lot of work with numerous developers, and they're just sort of getting that process started as well. But this investment and this process that we have here in terms of the level of community engagement, that is a first. So we are not always perfect, we don't always get it right, but please bear with us, please help us get it to a point where, you know, it speaks to you and your priorities.
Community Development Specialist at the Yonge Street Mission, Caitlin Ferreira, shared a presentation on the SDP Evaluation and Benchmarks Committee to provide an update report on this year's work, insights from 2023's data, and next steps.
Why are we doing this anyway? Why do we meet every other Monday and sit on Zoom and come up with this work? It's because we really want to see if we're meeting our goals. Are we achieving social cohesion and inclusion? Are we doing anything? Or are we just, messing about? We are doing things. We really want to celebrate our success and show that the SDP works. So we need to continue to have it funded and continue this fantastic work.
The second part of the meeting was focused on the presentations from community agency groups and nonprofit organizations who secured funding from the 2022 Social Development Plan Call for Proposals. The first presentation was shared by Amal Mohammed in relation to the Anti-Racism Action Project. This initiative ended in October 2023 and worked in partnership with the SDP and the Regent Park Community Health Center. The next presentation was shared by Filipinos in Regent Park Community Group, followed by a presentation from the Toronto Football Athletic Advancement Group regarding their Football for All project.
My name is Mary Ann, and I'm the Filipinos in Regent Park Community Program Lead. In behalf of the Filipino community, we are very grateful that we are one of the recipients for the grant from the SDP. The purpose of this project is to build the capacity of Filipinos in Regent Park and to sustain our activities and expand. So in order to fulfill our mission to build unity and uplift the well-being of every Filipinos in Regent Park.
My name's Kevin Zavalos. I run a soccer organization called Toronto Football Athletic Advancement. Our focus is to provide soccer programming, structured soccer programming in the Downtown East District, specifically in Regent Park, as you guys already know. And we deal with kids from the ages of 5 to 13 specifically, but we have done other things for the older age groups as well. For 2023, it's been a special year. I've been excited about this year and what we've done. We had 560 participants, not only through our programs, but through our events as well. 180 youth girls were in our programs. and events. We had 8 youth council members. 14 residents were employed this year. One down from last year, but we hope to kind of double that up in the upcoming year. And then we hosted 2 events, one futsal for all and one football for all, which was for men, and then the other one was for women.
Following TFAA, Leonard Schwartz, one of the Safety Network Working Group co-chairs, shared a presentation on safety initiatives implemented to promote the physical and mental well-being of the residents of Regent Park.
We are called the Regent Park Safety Network for 2 reasons. Number 1, safety first. We are responsible for liaising with different agencies to promote the physical and mental well-being of the residents of Regent Park. Thanks. For example, this past year we had a recent workshop called Stop the Bleed that touched on issues around first aid, CPR, and AED, automatic external defibrillation, because we're interested in keeping people alive, keeping people safe.
The Employment and Economic Development Working Group continued with a presentation shared by Ibrahim Afra on the employment and entrepreneurship opportunities in Regent Park, their current projects, and the Learning Series program in our community.
So when you think of EED, think of 2 things. Think of employment and think of entrepreneurship. All of you want to get that great job. All of you want to move from surviving to thriving. So all of your employment needs, we need to think about how we can get you hired somewhere closer to this neighborhood and also somewhere that you can travel. So employment is one thing. So we have a project called Workforce Integrator. We will talk about it. Second part is entrepreneurship. I'm an entrepreneur, and so many of this neighborhood, there's a lot of entrepreneurs. So in order to be financial freedom, all of you, in order to do what you want to do, you need to be entrepreneurs. So join us in this table. Think of ideas, think of ways that there's lots of money coming into the neighborhood. What better way to spend it on your entrepreneurship journey?
My name is Layla Zia, and I work on the Learning Series project. I'm the project coordinator. Learning Series is under the Economic and Employment Development table. The Learning Series was created with the goal of 20 women entrepreneurs to get the knowledge and the confidence to start their own businesses. For residents to learn project management alongside this program, and for Regent Park to identify different a variety of businesses basically that are underlying here.
The next presentation was shared by the Communications Working Group co-chairs Adonis Huggins from Regent Park Focus Community Arts and Regent Park residents Murshida Moin. Both provided an update related to the meaningful work that Regent Park TV and Catch the Flavor print magazine do to inform our local community about events and news happening in the neighborhood.
How many of you have seen a Regent Park TV episode? A few. Okay. So Regent Park TV is on YouTube. You can see it. And there you go. Regent Park Community TV is your TV. And there's a whole wealth of information, videos that you can see on YouTube, but also on the website, which is regentpark.tv. So it's all about Regent Park. It's all about issues that happen in Regent Park. It's about events that go on. And we're here as much as we can, as much resources as we can to basically film everything that happens at Regent Park that's connected to the social development plan. We also produce, and I'm going to tell you a little bit, I'm going to let Murshida tell you the rest of our activities, but basically we have meet monthly. There are residents that are involved, Focus, us are involved, YSM is involved, the Tech Library, Dixon Hall. So we all meet once a month and to basically look at coordinate projects that we do. And here are the projects.
Yes. Guys, if you want to know about the Regent Park, please do see that TV. Honestly, there's a lot of amazing information. As I saying it, and we've produced a monthly newsletter as well as Catch the Flavor. Please do see our third Catch the Flavor. It's right there. Leonard, please show it to everybody. Thank you. And we have a community neighborhood hub, Hello Neighbor it's called, and it's a centralized hub, and then all the information are updated, and we do develop that, and then it is up and running right now. Please, if you have any updates you wanted to give feedbacks and stuff like that, please talk to Ibrahim.
How many of you have the Hello Neighborhood app?
I have it. Sure, thank you. We do create neighborhood content stuff, broadcast in Regent Park TV, whatever's happened. Let's say if there's an event, Sunday in the park, and there's every Wednesday, what is that? Any event that happens, it goes in that TV. Any meetings, all the STP meetings that happen, it's all been produced in the Regent Park TV. Please do watch it, and you will get more information about it. And we provide with the support with the STP hybrid meeting, just like this. We have a hybrid and we have an in-person, so we do support on that. And also we promote the STP table, and then we talk about the STP table with different people, folks, and what is STP, who can involve and who can, and even if they don't want to involve, just to give out the information, right? So that's what we do, and also increase in digital access to throughout the tech library. Honestly, if you guys need a laptop, or any internet access, please do come to our tech library. It runs from 12 to 8, I believe. Or you could see they have a staff, which is Mafiza, and there's what's his name? Abdurrahman is there too, and then other staff is there. Please connect with them. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Please wave to them. Please do talk to them and how you can able to get your laptops and everything. Yes, that's my turn is done.
And we're just great, yeah, big hand, sure. And then just in terms of some of the accomplishments, and you'll hear a little bit more from the Tech Library in a few minutes. We have had, in terms of a subscription to Catch the Flavor, so Catch the Flavor is not only a printed magazine that's occasionally printed, but a monthly e-newsletter. So if you're not getting the newsletters because you're not on the mailing list, so please get on the mailing list, and every month you'll get a newsletter that comes to you with events on it, as well as the calendar events. And so far we have 1,052 subscribers of the newsletter. For RPTV, we have produced our 138 RPTV videos since January the 1st. Of which 23 of them are a weekly news show that we put on. So about Regent Park and issues that go on. And the total viewers to date is 39,592 viewers. Our subscribers, if you, we ask you to subscribe to Regent Park TV, and that way you'll get sort of a notice that comes up every time an episode comes. So far, we have 1,462 subscribers.
The Tech Lending Library Group also provided an Impact Report 2023 since it was established 3 months ago in Regent Park, followed by the last presentation shared by Ibrahim Afra regarding the Hello Neighbor app. The meeting concluded with the raffle and appreciation to those who organized and provided food at the event.
I want to thank my other co-chairs here tonight and the people who organized this event, the ladies who created the food over here, and we'll see them again, to your presenters, a really major thank you to the presenters.
Toronto Community Housing Corporation provides update on Regent Park demolition notice for phases 4 and 5. The demolition work for buildings 319, 325, and 355 Draw Street East and 274 Sackville Street is in progress according to a news release published on TCHC website last November 8th. City of Toronto approved the demolition of 527 existing social housing units at 325 Gerard Street East and related addresses at the July 19, 2023 City Council meeting. Demolition notice signs are now visible on site at the corner of River Street and Gerard Street East and Sackville Street and Gerard Street East. A team trained to dismantle the structures safely and effectively is working inside the buildings to prepare the site for demolition. Work is expected to take up to 8 months. Tree cutting workers were seen last week taking down tall linden and pine trees along 325 Gerard Street East and 274 Sackville Street.
The free annual Regent Park Film Festival took place at Daniel Spectrum, 585 Dundas Street East, from November 23rd to 26th. People from across Toronto and beyond attended 4 days of films, workshops, panels, parties, and the special event such as meet and greet, emerging directors pitch competition, and RPFF 2023 awards. The film festival brought a variety of valuable, accessible programming this year to showcase and amplify the stories of local, international, Black, Indigenous, and people of color, BIPOC, communities which have a significant impact on our community's growth and prosperity. Mayor Olivia Chow joined the festival as a guest speaker before the opening night film In Flames. Regent Park TV reporters Fred Alvarado and Gabriel Meisner were at the opening night reception to interview community members. Let's hear what they have to say.
I am honored to be here to celebrate and to kick off the 21st Regent Park Film Festival, a festival that shows films that have diverse voices and show us a way to dream about a better future, capture the reality, but also connect all of us and motivates us, inspire us. So to all the filmmakers and all the volunteers that make tonight possible, hats off to you.
Hi, my name's Kalpana Srinarayan Das. I'm the Executive Director of Regent Park Film Festival. We're here at the opening night of our 21st annual Regent Park Film Festival. I'm so happy that we have a big crowd and everyone's excited. We're opening tonight with In Flames, which is a film by a Canadian-Pakistani filmmaker named Zarar Khan. It's a great film to show at our opening night because it reflects some of the communities that live right here in Regent Park. As usual, the film festival is entirely free. It's been important to the organization since day one that film and art be free and accessible, and that the films that we show reflect the people in the neighborhood. So we're really excited to bring a broad range of BIPOC artists to the film festival this year. This is our biggest night, the film festival, but our year-round programming includes Under the Stars, our annual outdoor summer film series, which happens just across from Daniel Spectrum in the big park. It's a great opportunity for people in the community and people just walking through, like exploring Regent Park, to come together and watch a great film. We also invite local organizations like our neighbors Art Heart or the Children's Book Bank to table and also provide their resources and share their programs with the community as well. In between, we have community screenings in this building and around the community. We have workshops for people interested in learning about the film industry. And then we also have our internship program for people interested in getting into behind-the-scenes work like editing or camera work or sound. So we have a lot of programs year-round.
My name is Craig Scorgi. I'm an editor, and I worked on the movie In Flames, which is screening tonight at the Regent Park Film Festival.
My name is Muhammad Ali Hashmi. I am the casting director and one of the lead actors in Flame, and we are at the opening night here at Regent Park Film Festival.
Yeah, we're very excited. I'm a big fan of this festival just because it's accessible, it's free, it's for the community. It's like not pretentious in any way. It's a place where the community in Regent Park and Toronto can come and see like the best of cinema this year, and I think it's amazing that there's something like this for the city.
I mean, honestly, I love the fact that this festival is open to every single person, irrelevant of race and creed. And I think this festival, what it does, it encourages other festivals to be more open. I mean, our film premiered at Cannes, where people had to pay large amounts of money to be able to see the film. And Regent Park right now is making it accessible to people in a way where it hasn't been accessible before. So I think festivals like this take it to the audiences where it matters. And I think that's the most important thing.
I mean, bringing any opportunity to screen In Flames in Toronto is very exciting. This is a city that I live. I worked on this film over a year ago, and I'm so excited to share this with the community and people of Toronto. We were at TIFF, but I think there's something special about being at Regent Park. It's, regular audience members can come and check it out, go for free. It's not an exorbitant price. And it's an accessible venue where a lot of film theaters are not accessible. So I'm very excited for that.
I mean, for me, having the film at Regent Park means that the people who deserve to see it will get to see it. And that's the more important thing. And I also think having a film like this here at Regent Park means that the stories that would not have been seen otherwise in Canada are now being accessible, and that's the most important thing of what film does. It brings people together from different parts of the world to share the common humanity among us.
And hello everybody, it's Renji Lee from Renergy Media House. We're here with Regent Park Film Festival. It's a lot of R's, R&R, a lot of recognition going around. Why is this important? We need to showcase art from all across the city. Regent Park is one of those hubs. We're right downtown between a lot of different places, making sure that we actually have a place to showcase art. 20 years this festival's been here. I actually came here when I was a teenager, before the center was up and before the areas like this. So for me, seeing what it is now, it's actually fantastic. We need more art in the community and, bringing people together as artists, supporting each other, understanding what the city's all about. That's what this is all about to me, and that's why I think this is important. So again, Reggie Lee signing off, Regent Park Films Festival. Please come on, check us out this year, November 23rd to 26th, as well as next year in 2046. We're going to move for the future. Thank you.
Toronto police report significant increase in hate crimes since Israel-Gaza war. Unprecedented tensions resulting from the Israel-Hamas war have led to an alarming trend in hate crimes across Toronto. The city's police chief, Myron Demke, said in a press conference on November 23, 2023.
The impact of the events in the Middle East on our city are ongoing and have escalated since October 7th. Our officers are attending almost daily demonstrations and gatherings, some with upwards of 25,000 participants. They are, by their very nature, dynamic situations that can present a risk to public safety and be incredibly disruptive to the city. I want to highlight the complement of officers from each of our divisions from across the city dedicated to Project Resolute. There are those that are pulled from our specialized units as well to help mitigate the impact of events on our city. Unfortunately, we're also seeing a significant spike in the number of hate crimes being reported in Toronto, which can traumatize not just victims, but all members of the targeted community and beyond. Between January 1st and November 20th of this year, there were a total of 323 reported hate crimes in Toronto versus 224 reported during the same time in 2022. Between October 7th and November 20th, there were 78 hate crimes reported in Toronto compared to 37 reported in 2022 during the same time period. This includes 38 anti-Semitic hate crimes versus 13 last year, and 17 anti-Muslim, anti-Palestinian, anti-Arab hate crimes versus 1 last year. There's also been a troubling increase in reported hate crimes targeting the LGBTQ2S+ communities. 9 hate crimes have been reported since October 7th this year compared to 5 last year, an increase of 80%. Among all the hate crimes reported between October 7th and November 20th, 49% have been anti-Semitic. These increases are deeply concerning, and we are committing a significant number of resources to address it. Superintendent Stevenson from our intelligence unit will speak about this in more detail shortly. But we have increased the size of our hate crime unit by temporarily reassigning members from other areas of the service. We also launched a new web form on tps.ca to provide an additional avenue for the public to alert us about hate-motivated graffiti. Since October 7th, there has been 63 hate graffiti occurrences that were anti-Muslim, anti-Palestinian, anti-Arab in nature. There were 2 reported during the same period last year. There have been 217 hate graffiti occurrences that were anti-Semitic since October 7th. Last year, at this time, there were 19 reported. The service is continuing to provide a heightened visibility and presence in communities across the city to ensure community safety and to provide residents across Toronto with a sense of security. This requires a significant investment of resources as we deploy officers to prioritize immediate public safety needs, including our response to Priority 1 calls, which are currently averaging over 25 minutes. I can tell you that on a daily basis, 36 officers comprised of 1 senior officer and groups of traffic services, detective operations, and Toronto Police College instructors are drawn from across the city. This is above and beyond what each division does each and every day to address community concerns locally.
1 person remains at a homeless encampment outside Toronto Church after city crews began clearing the site on November the 24th. Some protesters gathered Friday as the dismantling of the encampment got underway outside St. Stephen in the Fields Anglican Church on the corner of Bellevue Avenue and College Street in Kensington Market. The clearing started after nightfall, and by 9:30 p.m., several Toronto police officers were seen outside the church. 9 people had accepted offers of shelter space, and 1 person remained on the city's right-of-way, the city said in a statement. The encampment clearing also attracted media attention. Our very own RPTV reporter, Fred Alvarado, was outside St. Stephen in the Field Church to interview faith leader and activist Alexa Gilmore, who was there in support of community members suffering homelessness. Now let's hear what she has to say.
Hi there, my name is Reverend Alexa Gilmore, and I am I'm here this morning because people deserve to be housed, and this is a community that has been here a long time, supported by the church, by many others, and I'm opposed to the clearing of this encampment. Well, we've seen for decades an erosion of funding and in terms of housing projects, and that's the long-term goal, is we need housing for all. But until that time, we really can't afford to lose any of these safe spaces that are here and set up to support. We have here, people are getting fed, they're getting services, they're getting community, but long term we need the federal dollars, we need the housing TO plan to step up. We need the province, everybody to come to the table and see that this is an affordability crisis, that this is a housing crisis, and it's just going to keep growing until we solve some of those issues.
City of Toronto releases new strategy focused on mental health and substance use. The City of Toronto has released a strategic plan to address concerning trend of decreased mental well-being and what it calls a severe crisis of drug toxicity. 7 recommendations and goals are included in the city's plan: our health, our city, a mental health substance use, harm reduction, and treatment strategy for Toronto. The focus of the strategy, according to the councillors, is that mental health and addiction is not a criminal issue. It is a health issue. The directives range from raising awareness about mental health and related resources in the city to creating round-the-clock, low-barrier spaces for those experiencing crisis or substance-related issues. The release of the strategy comes amid a worsening state of mental health overall in Toronto, according to the city. Since 2015, nearly 2,900 lives have been lost in the city due to opioid-related toxicity, each death preventable, the city said. During a press conference, Councillors Chris Moyes and Osama Malik outlined the 7 main actions of our city aimed at mitigating substance use-related harms and fostering mental health and well-being.
So the creation of this strategy has been a collaborative effort engaging the diverse voices of Toronto's communities. Through interviews, roundtables, and stakeholder-driven advisory groups, we have built a mosaic of perspectives, including those from community leaders, frontline staff, from multiple sectors, and individuals with lived and living experience of substance use and or mental health challenges. The accumulation of these collective wisdom is our health, our city. A call to action for our entire city with a comprehensive plan to unfold over the next 5 years.
The recent statistics are alarming. We've all seen them. Mental health issues are the leading cause of disabilities in Canada, affecting 1 in 2 Canadians by the age of 40. And while the evidence shows it, I know that we all see it and feel it among our communities and in our circles. Our Health, Our City recognizes the urgency to address this, incorporating recommendations shaped by extensive engagement with experts, community stakeholders, and individuals with lived and living experience. Acknowledging the roots of mental illnesses and substance use is social discrimination, inequity, and trauma. This strategy emphasizes the need to invest in families, in neighborhoods, and in communities for successful upstream and downstream measures. No one is unaffected by the impacts of mental health and substance use, and challenges persist, the ones that we know well, and they include the drug toxicity crisis, high living costs in a city like ours, housing accessibility, and the lingering impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. And as a city, we must care for each other, creating community and building a city where our sense of belonging strengthens us all. I'm honored to represent some of Toronto's most vibrant downtown communities. I share that distinction with Councillor Moyes, and I know the importance of policy-based mental health and harm reduction supports and how they can build a safer, more inclusive Toronto. And this is the work that we must do together across the city. Implementation of this strategy requires a concerted effort from city divisions, so many of which are represented here, community organizations, also alongside us, healthcare partners, government agencies, and our federal and provincial colleagues. I cannot stress that enough. With dedicated staff from Toronto Public Health and a public advisory panel, we will keep this strategy on track in a practical way. At the city level, we will be convening an implementation panel to work alongside the Board of Health to ensure implementation of this strategy remains a priority, not only through the committed leadership given by Toronto Public Health, but by the city as a whole.
Ontario and Toronto reach a historic $1.2 billion funding deal. Premier Doug Ford and Mayor Olivia Chow announced a major new funding deal for Toronto on November the 27th, 2023. Much of the attention on Ford and Chow's joint announcement focused on the province taking over 2 major Toronto highways and the city stepping aside on the Ontario Place redevelopment. As part of this new deal, Ontario has agreed to provide the city with up to $1.2 billion in provincial operating supports over 3 years and significant capital relief, including annual operating funding of $330 million over 3 years, beginning in 2024 to 2025 for new subway integrated provincial transit projects. the Eglinton Crosstown LRT, and the Finch West LRT, providing $600 million in additional operating support for shelters and homelessness, conditional on federal support for refugee and asylum claimants, identifying provincially owned lands in Toronto that can be used to build homes, uploading both the Gardner Expressway and the Don Valley Parkway to the province, subject to third-party due diligence. This proposal will ensure these highways' long-term sustainability for the benefit of drivers and commerce across Greater Toronto areas as untolled highways. Over $750 million in funding for 55 new subway trains for the TTC's Line 2, conditional on matching federal support. $300 million in a one-time funding for subways and transit safety, recovery, and sustainability.
I'm thrilled to be here today alongside Mayor Chow to announce that Toronto and Ontario have reached a historic new deal. A new deal that puts the city on the path to long-term financial sustainability through growth. It's amazing to see what we can accomplish when we work together, when we put our differences aside and focus on what unites us. So, Mayor, thank you so much. Friends, after weeks of productive discussions, we've agreed to a game-changing historic new deal. The deal will provide the city with up to $1.2 billion in new operating supports over the next 3 years. This includes money to fund new homeless shelters and beds, to get more police officers patrolling the TTC to keep it safe, and to help bring the Finch West and Eglinton Crosstown projects online. The province is also providing the city with up to $7.6 billion in additional capital relief by uploading the Gardner Expressway and the Don Valley Parkway. This new deal will also deliver on our commitment to build more housing, and I'm thrilled that Toronto has agreed to meet or exceed its target to build more than 73,000 new homes by 2025, including by building way more density close to transit. Not only will this help bring the dream of home ownership into reach for more people, it will put the city on a path to receive hundreds of millions of dollars in funding through our Building Faster Fund. We're going to work together over the coming weeks and months to find surplus government lands where we can quickly build affordable and attainable homes, including modular homes. And friends, as part of this new deal, the city has accepted the province's authority to advance approvals for Ontario Place. Later today, our government will introduce new legislation for this new deal that will support a growing Toronto, help solve the city's deep financial challenges, and move forward important priorities like building homes, transit, and critical infrastructure. Friends, we're working together to put Toronto on the path to success, not by painful cuts in services or new taxes and tolls, but through smart, effective growth. Growth in services, growth in transit, growth in density and types of housing, growth in infrastructure, and growth in revenues. And while Ontario and Toronto have come to this historic agreement, we still need the feds at the table. We're again calling on the federal government to step up as a full partner and provide their fair share of funding for things like shelter supports and transportation infrastructure. Toronto is too important to Ontario and Canada's economy. We need all levels of government working together to ensure this world-class city, Canada's largest city, remains financially sustainable. When Toronto succeeds, Ontario succeeds. When Ontario succeeds, Canada succeeds.
I live a few blocks from a food bank on College Street. Every day I see people in line, seniors, families, kids, all waiting for the food bank to open. And every month the line seems longer. In Toronto, 1 in 10 people use food banks, and a third of them are kids. Kids that need to fill up their bellies, kids that can't learn if they're hungry going to school. Families are stuck making the impossible decision in either paying rent or feeding their kids. And we do know 85,000 Toronto households are on a waiting list for a long time for some kind of affordable housing. So many Torontonians are facing difficult times, especially those that are sleeping on the street, even tonight. We got here because we have decades of underinvestments from different levels of government. We inherited a bit of a financial mess in Toronto. And for a long time, it's hard to find hope until today. And I want to thank the Premier for partnering with Toronto. I want to thank the Premier for providing this new deal so that we can provide some hope for some of the families that are having a hard time to get by. I'm encouraged by this new deal. It unlocks the city potential. It provides billions in capital and operating dollars so we can do more for people. By uploading the Gardner and the DVP, the city will be able to spend billions more on affordable housing, fixing transit, and building communities with all the things we love in the neighborhoods, whether it's community centers, libraries, parks, and all those things where people gathered and where they feel they belong. This deal means that we can do more for people. It means we can realize the potential of our housing plan, our ambitious housing plan. Thousands of affordable units can be built by redirecting funds that could otherwise be spent on repairing and aging highways. It means that we can repair our aging transit system and improve the services so people can get to work and school on time. We can fix our roads instead of spending a huge portion of our budget on fixing the Gardner. This is a structural change that will unlock billions over the next 10 years. But of course, it doesn't take us all the way there. That's why I'm very thankful the province and the city have agreed to continue this conversation. Over the next few years, we'll continue to examine the city's finances and working on Toronto's long-term financial sustainability. It's the beginning of a journey. It's a wonderful first step. And of course, we need the federal government to step up and join us. We have identified areas where the federal government can join us, like leveraging the provincial's commitment to split the cost of the new subway cars on Bloor Street. We need that now. If we can secure a third of the federal dollars, whether it's on shelters, on housing, and on the subway cars, we can put in the order immediately. When all levels of government work together, there's so much more we can do for the people of Toronto. It's a partnership. It is a collaboration, because we know we are stronger together. I look forward to continue the discussion so that together we can build a city that's more affordable, caring, and safe for everyone. Again, I want to thank the Premier for this wonderful partnership for this new deal.
Events and job opportunities in Regent Park community. The Regent Park Social Development Plan is calling for reference group members' applications. Deadline December 8th. If you have any questions, contact Daniela Costello at danielacostello@toronto.ca. The next surgeon, do you want to work in medicine or cardiac surgery? Register for University of Toronto and TCHC High School mentorship program that supports the next generation of students in grade 10 to 12 who sees themselves as future surgeons. When? January 6th to February 17th, 2023 at St. Michael's Hospital. Application deadline December 15th. Info section is Saturday, December 2nd from 1 to 2 p.m. Toronto Police Project. Hope is looking for joy to thousands of newcomer and refugee children from across the world as they celebrate their first holiday season in Canada with a Christmas donation drive. Donations such as new toys, new winter clothes, school essentials, new or used laptops or table and gift cards will be acceptable from November 10th to December 10th at 51 Division. Baby time at the Children's Book Bank in Regent Park, 585 Dundas Street East. Suite 260, join for stories and songs, Mondays from 11 to 11:30 for babies and caregivers. No registration is required. And the Regent Park Neighborhood Association and TCHC are recruiting 2 members from the SDP Community Benefit Oversight Working Group. CBOWG, email resumes, personal statements to talkregentpark@torontohousing.ca. Regent Park Tech Lending Library is providing Regent Park residents access to laptops, tablets, and fast internet. Open 7 days a week from 1 to 7 at Daniel Spectrum, 585 Dundas Street East. Please bring ID, proof of address. For more information, contact rpna.techlibrary@gmail.com. TCHC and Tridel calling all small business owners in Regent Park. Are you a Regent Park resident with a small business? Do you offer catering, photography, create handmade goods, or other goods and services? Join their small business directory and get connected to business opportunities in the community. If you have a question, email csr@tridel.com.
And that was all for today's show. My name is Jabin and my co-hosts are Kedar and Thundercloud. We also like to thank our team of researchers that contributed for the week's show. And from our studios at Focus Media Arts Center. Thanks for watching and see you next week.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please follow our social media platforms. For more information, check out our website.